Isabel, where are you?
Nobody's watching yet.
Hey, you got a hit. Hi, Oleg. Morning. Hey.
Good
See
morning.
you. Hi, John. Hi, Oleg. Okay. Oleg is doing some really awesome work scanning these fantastic buildings. He's been a joy to work with. So thank you for that. Hi, Michael. All right. How are you today, Isabel?
I'm well. How about you? You're looking fabulous.
Thank you. That's us, the fabulous two. Okay. All right, so while we wait for others to join us, I do have a couple of announcements. Um, First of all, make sure you know, hi Teddy, make sure that you are aware that on September the 3rd, which is next Monday, Tuesday, because Monday we have off, so Tuesday, Showcase 2 and Workshop 2 will be going away. So if you have any spaces that are currently using either Showcase 2 or Workshop 2, please plan ahead. Our engineering team has been working really hard and they've listened. And so what will happen is if you have any spaces that are currently on Showcase 2, they will be automatically transferred to Showcase 3. And I know a lot of you were concerned about the panning in highlight reels, but the good news is they have special software that they will run, which will mimic the panning directions that currently exist as closely as they can. So that's good news. There's a solution to the issue. If you happen to come across any that aren't working, or if you come across any issues that you can't resolve in Showcase 3 that you think you need Showcase 2 for, please contact support. We will be ready and waiting to help you. We will do what, we will work with you to get you through this. We won't just leave you high and dry. All right. So know that there's a team behind you and know that the engineering team has listened. I'm not anticipating any big issues, but if something does come up, we're ready. All right. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Teddy, oh, I hear a kitty.
Oh no.
Are you making noises, Isabel?
No, I tried to set myself up in a cat-free environment today,
Oh
but
yeah,
there's
I
still
see
cats
that was
outside.
successful. Hi, Niall. Hi, Evangelo. All right, we're ready and waiting for any questions that you guys may have. That's not me. Hi, Debbie. What's not you, Teddy? All right. So if you joined us late, make sure you are informed about the fact that Showcase 2 will be going away next Tuesday. So if you have any spaces that are on Showcase 2, you should consider working with them and changing them to Showcase 3. If not, they will be automatically converted for you. Oh, the cat. Next Monday. But don't worry, we're here to help everybody. We're not leaving you. You will have a whole team behind you.
Will there be an email going out about the Showcase 2 going away? So that
Yes.
people who are
So there's
awesome.
other good news, which is coming tomorrow,
Oh,
which I can't talk about yet, but there are some extra features that are coming out that I know that you will all be very happy about. So it's just all good news right here from here on out. I know that our lead engineer Hawken has just been working really hard, and honestly, it's really nice because he's been listening. So yeah, I'm happy about that and just very excited.
so these new features that Hawkins working on, are they in Showcase?
Showcase and workshop mostly, yeah. But yeah, there's some good stuff coming, and Yeah. So tomorrow there'll be an email sent out to everybody, and I'll post it on Facebook just in case you don't get the email. But yeah, some exciting things coming down the line. So yay. Hi, Victoria. Hi, AJ. So do we have any questions? Oh, when will we be able to back up and restore individual captures? All right. So if you need that functionality, DM me or send a ticket into support. I will get you we have a beta version right now that we're working with that you can use. I'll send that link to you. Should I hold off on an outdoor scan until tomorrow? No. Do your outdoor scan today. No, it's not vertical trim or face blurring. Selective face blurring, no. It has something to do with the highlight reel.
Oh, highlight reel.
In conjunction with this change to 3.0. To the new, no. Okay, no. So this is different than the subscription plans that you're on. So this is just Showcase. So we're moving from Showcase 2 to Showcase 3. You can't now. You won't be able to access your spaces in Showcase 2, or you won't be able to use Workshop 2. The theory is that all the bugs have been fixed, right? Everything's looking really good right now. I exclusively use Showcase 3. It's been terrific for me. And as I've been working on people's spaces, I've noticed that the majority of people are already on Showcase 3. All right, so here Carlos is saying that Showcase 3 does not work properly on client touchscreen devices. Okay, this is information that we need to know. So I will contact you after this. I'll work with you on that. Yeah, so anything that doesn't work, we need to know. We will work with you, right? So that's really important that you know that we're going to work with you. All right. All right. So so the plans, the subscription plan that you have has nothing to do with Showcase and this new change. So whatever plan you're on, you will stay on. No changes there. All right. So hopefully that clears that up. Jonathan, Michael. Dee, I want to thank you for all the work that you did to help me with that huge property. I really appreciate it. Aw, you're welcome. Yeah, it's a beautiful property that you scanned. It was a little bit messed up, and it took a little bit of time to fix. Hopefully, we fixed it. All right.
Can you tell us more about what fix you did?
Yeah, so what happened was Oleg had this beautiful office building. And he scanned the outside of the building, and because it was a building that had like windows that all looked the same, there was misalignment in those outside scans. So he went around the corner and scanned, and then he came back around and he scanned inside. And by the time he got back to where he had left off on the other end, things didn't match up because the inside of the building was actually bigger than the outside scans.
Oh no.
So you have to be so what I told him to do was next time when you want to scan outside, scan the interior first. If you scan the interior of a building and you define that wall that abuts where you're going to scan outside, at least there's that wall that's defined. So when you go outside, there's more for the camera and the software to align to. So don't start on the outside and go in, start on the inside and go out. Number two, he started at the very beginning and it messed up at the beginning. And when we fix things, if I move one scan, it moves all the subsequent scans. So it just makes it really hard. And then I had to remark all the markings, which there were a lot of them. And so it just takes time. And I don't know if it's fixed because there were several floors, which sort of makes it harder. But we'll see it's processing right now. And I'll continue to work with him and hopefully we'll get something that will work for him.
That's awesome. So someone asked a question this morning about combining scans done by Insta360 I know that you can't fix misalignments, but what about stitching? Is it possible to stitch? No?
You know, it sort of depends. Sometimes I can't even get the software to come up if there's scans that have that are done with the 360 camera. It all depends. It depends on what you want stitched. I've had good luck with two spaces that are not touching and just sticking them together that way, right? Just putting them in the same space. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I've had ones where I can actually fix misalignments, but for the most part, it usually doesn't work.
So I think the situation in question is that it's a school and different students want to each scan a small section with the Insta360. And so if they're touching, then they won't match up.
So if they have scan, I mean, we can try it, but it just depends on how much 3D data is collected and how sort of accurate with respect to
Well,
reality
none,
it
I
is.
guess,
Yeah.
because there's no 3D data. So
well, it's inferring it, so it's sort of a question of how accurate is the inferred data and how much of it is there. So, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't go out and use the 360 camera and count on it working and nothing going wrong. I mean, if it's something that's really important to you, use a Matterport camera. I had one client who scanned this entire building that was under construction. I mean, he did a great job. Some of the things went wrong, and I can't fix that. So if he'd used a Matterport camera, I could have helped him. Hello, Dee from Houston. Am I from Houston or for you from? All right, so here's the question. Maybe you can answer this one, Isabel. AJ says, I've had a scanner for about 2 weeks now, and I have a question about scanning large rooms with high ceilings. What are the best practices for things like that? A really high tripod? And if so, how can I scan at different heights and not have them show up as a different floor?
So, the range of the Matterport camera is about 15 feet, and that goes both horizontally and vertically. So if the ceiling is more than 20 feet or so, then the tripod would not reach it. So you may not have complete 3D data up near the ceiling. And so a high tripod is a good solution. And yes, you can scan. So if you have a high tripod, you can offset it slightly. So you would scan at a normal height, like by the door, and then you would move about a foot or so and elevate the tripod and scan higher up. And once the tour has been processed, you can, if you like, you can disable the taller or the shorter scans so that people are not flying up and down. And no, it would not create a different floor if you scanned up and down, or would it, Dee?
No, I've not seen it create a new floor.
Because there's no floor, right?
Yeah.
When you're elevated.
But sometimes the software is sort of unpredictable, but what I've seen is it doesn't create a new floor. The concern is to I always suggest that you hide the scans that are done at a higher elevation because they're only used to capture more of the 3D data. And you don't want your customers going to those spots because then they'll be going up and down and up and down. It's actually kind of weird because I had that one where the guy was on the roof and he scanned and then I went down and I had that sensation of like falling. So it's like really weird. You wouldn't think because it's just a picture, right? But yeah, I mean, so you can get somewhat, quote, seasick if you go up and down, up and down.
But some people have done that intentionally, like in the church or in a big convention center. They have one entry scanned that are really high up to start with so that you see the whole room. And so that can be kind of cool. But yeah, you don't want it going throughout the space. You don't want people going up and down constantly because that can be confusing.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly. Hey, everyone. All right. Are there any plans to develop software that auto-stitches, auto-corrects, and auto-adjusts scans for us? This way, we're not having to wait for Matterport to do the work for us. It would be done by software automatically during the scanning process. Okay, so if there was a way to fix things automatically without any kind of intervention, we would have done that, right? We're not on purpose trying to make things go wrong. So when they do go wrong, or if you need two spaces stitched together, we are working on a tool that will allow customers to do that. Okay. However, if something goes, it's not just stitching, it's if something goes wrong or a scan is misplaced, typically that requires some type of human interaction. That we do have a feature request that will allow you to give them hints to say, this scan really doesn't belong here, even though you keep putting here. Why don't you try and align it to this scan over here? But as of right now, we don't have anything that's currently planned, but we do know about these requirements and have been thinking about it. Oh.
Hmm.
How do we get them to stop labeling the photos they create for us? I did a store and it named rooms the wrong name. I have to go back out or delete pictures. Yeah, so that's a very good question. So there's two issues here. There's the auto gallery, which is turned on for most people, and that automatically creates pictures and automatically names them. When that feature first came out, we did offer the ability to turn it off. We are no longer offering that. So the answer is there's no way to do that. And I'm sorry. And if you don't like them and you have to delete them, I'm really sorry.
Is there a way to, is it possible to request that we color code the automated versus manually created snapshots so that even if people have to deal with the auto snapshots that they don't like, at least they can distinguish it from the ones that they themselves created?
Yeah. So typically the ones that are auto-created are named, and the ones that you create yourself are by default numbered with the date and the time. So it's usually pretty easy to tell which ones you took and which ones you didn't. Yeah.
But let's say that you wanted to name yours, then you would have to go and rename the ones that are mistakenly named.
Yeah,
so it just creates a little more work. Or is it possible for the auto snapshots to go in a certain folder so that people can set them apart?
Yeah, that's a good feature request. Yeah, we can certainly make those requests. Yeah, good ideas. Take your own pictures. Yeah. Okay. Scanning at sunset tonight, says Lorianne. Have you mentioned something changing with 3.0? Will this affect my outside scan project? No. There are no changes right now that should affect scanning at sunset tonight. Good luck.
So what about the 360 to 3D conversion? The capture beta that's currently available, is the 360 to 3D behavior different at all, or is it still the same?
Okay, so you're talking about the 3.0.6 version of capture that's in beta?
Yes.
So
yes.
My understanding is that fixes the ability to restore a single model, which was taken away with 0.5. And the question is,
the 360 to 3D conversion, is it any different in the new capture?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I can find out. I do know there was some other change with that. Hold on, let me see if I can look that up. Yes. So some people were experiencing the capture app crashing when they were converting from 360 to 3D. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. So this version should fix that. Or okay, I'll take that back. It's got better logging. So if something happens, you can contact us and we can try to figure out what's going on. Yeah. So if you are having issues with your 360 to 3D conversions crashing the app, contact support will get you that. It's a beta right now. Yeah, that's a good question.
So I was under the impression that when it crashes, it typically means that your iPad does not have enough computing resources, or are there specific bugs that have been crashing this?
I don't know that. I don't know what's causing it to crash. So, but it says here that they're having better logging so they can take a look at what's happening. Yeah, so they can fix
In
that.
the future, is it possible to request that the logging be open to customers so that we ourselves can see what's wrong?
Yeah, so yeah, we can definitely ask for that. But if it goes wrong, contact support will work with you on getting those logs. We'll have the engineers take a look at it and work with you on that. If you save a snapshot as a 360 photo, do you need to use special software to be able to open it and view it on your computer? You want to take that one, Isabel?
I use Photoshop and I'm able to open it and edit it, but on your computer's photo viewing app, it may not open it. And if you upload it to Facebook, then Facebook will automatically recognize the 360.
Yep. So Facebook recognizes 360 panos. They're equirectangular files. Momento 360 can host them. They know how to interpret them. Do you know any other sites?
Koala, Kuula. So you have to host them on a 360 photo site that has the programming to recognize it.
Yeah. So Jan Menard is asking, hi Jan, is asking for a roadmap for upcoming new features. I'm working with that on that with the product marketing guy. So yeah, hopefully sometime we'll have that for you sometime soon.
That'll be really exciting to know what's coming.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Momento 360 understands equirectangular files. So check them out. They're free. You can create an account for free. That's the one I use. All right, any other questions? Let's see. This is scrolling down quickly here. Do you see any others, Isabel?
It is not letting me see the comments, so you will have to read them.
Again?
Again.
This happened last time. All right.
I know, technical difficulties.
So Debbie says, thanks, Mike. I do it just easier to upload the web-ready ones when you do a whole bunch. Okay. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Mike Grady. Oh, Ken's on. Hi, Ken. Is there a way to enhance color?
Mm-mm.
You want to take that one?
So it's hard. So Matterport does a really good job equalizing the brightness of color within your scan. But if you're scanning in an environment where the lighting changes a lot, like there's a really dark basement that's unlit and the attic is super bright, then you can get kind of a yellowish hue where the areas are bright. And so I am not sure how best to mitigate it. It's probably best to try to make sure that the lighting is relatively even in your scan environment and to time the time of day and to bring the lighting equipment so that there's not too much differential for the processing. What do you think, Dee?
Yeah, so I think that's good advice. Have you had any experience using filters through MP Embed?
I have, and it does work well. It's a little tedious. You can go and change it for every pano. There is an additional cost for the service. And so it would be nice if Matterport offered a native option to edit the different settings.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, hi Peter. So if you want to scan outside, what I tell people to do is go at night because our camera works really well at night. Stick some lights on top of your camera. It'll spin around as your camera's spinning around, and you'll have no problem scanning outside. Yeah. So somebody did a scan outside in the dark. Who was that? Dale? I don't remember who it was, but somebody posted that and said, yeah, it works like a charm. I've seen people scan like a whole block away and it works. It just, the camera just sees so much further. So yeah, so you can remember that. You can do that. If you're trying to scan like an outside area, it's kind of a nice feeling too when it's all lit up like that. It's different. It's a different feeling. So like if you have a restaurant, it's sort of more romantic, I guess. Anything you'd like to add, Isabel?
So when you put lights on your camera, I have two LED video light panels, and I found that it is helpful to put them in the V shape with the lights facing outward so that the lights cover a little wider area than the camera's field of view. The reason for that is if it's narrower, then as the camera rotates, you'll see a little bit of a seam at the places where the camera stops. But if the light covers a wider area, then the lighting looks really coherent and you can really successfully light up a really dark room.
Oh, good point. Yeah, great. Thanks. All right, Jan has a question. I have to answer Jan's question. Wait,
of course.
Okay, can we stitch separate model scan with the BLK? Yes. Can you explain HDR 1 to 5 when trying to import data from the BLK that was scanned with capture? It states that HDR sending is invalid or something like that.
So the software is such that it's only if you use a third-party software such as Recap or Leica's own Register 360, they're only able to import scans that are done at HDR0 off or HDR3. Is that correct? Has that changed?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so if you use 2, 4, or 5, then it will not import.
When trying to import data from the BLK that was scanned with Capture, it states that, yeah, okay. So yeah, so when you're scanning with the BLK, you're going to get, through Capture, you're going to get the scan in Capture, but you're also going to have the saved scan in the camera. So I think that's what he's talking about, yeah.
And so then under what circumstances would you scan at HDR5? I haven't done it because it takes so long. So for every additional HDR level, I think it adds about another minute per scan. And the fastest scan is already taking as long as 3 minutes. And so has anyone found that it's justified to do a whole scan at HDR5 since it can't be used in any other application?
I've not heard of that, so I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Justin. Yay, Justin's on. Hey, Lee. Night scanning is fun. Jonathan likes scanning at night. It is. It's so cool. Whoops. It's very
What
cool.
happened?
I swiped the comments away.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't swipe the comments away. All right. Niall Murphy says, is there a reason why we can't use Google Drive to store pictures, videos, and documents so they open in the window inside the model? Can you look at making that available? So you can store pictures and documents on Google Photos and include those in matter tags. If I assume that's what you're asking. Do you have anything else to add to that, Isabel?
So there's been some inconsistency because when you're storing photos elsewhere, you're dependent on that service provider's compatibility with Embedly, the standard that supports matter tags. So I know people were using Flickr and then it stopped working. People were using SmugMug, it stopped working. And so that's been a little bit of frustration. And I was wondering if Matterport has ever considered offering hosting for the documents and photos associated with models.
Yes, so that is definitely something that is a feature that has been requested multiple times and we know about it. So yeah, definitely under consideration. Hey, Mark Shepard. So Niall wants them to open in the window inside the model. So yeah, so to natively pull in documents. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. It's not something that we have now, but it's certainly something we can suggest.
And also so that it will always work. It's associated even when the model is offline on the iPad.
That's a good question. Yeah, so they would have to work out all those kinds of issues.
But it would just be really helpful because it's always a point of confusion. Like I use this service and the matter tag doesn't work. So it's hard.
Yeah. So Debbie wants you to tell her what lights you use. So I'm sure after this, Isabel can post. You can
yes,
post what
I will post what I have, but what I use is a really lazy solution. So they're really cheap lights. And I don't even attach them to the camera because I don't use them often. The top of the camera is perfectly flat. And so it's the bottom of the lights. I just sit them on top of the camera and it stays put.
So if our camera ever starts spinning faster, her lights are going to go poof.
Oh, fly. In that case, I would use Velcro. But they're really cheap. I think they're only like 15 bucks each. So it was a good, fast solution.
Sweet. All right, then she'll post the link for that.
Yes,
we also have in our Help Center lights that we suggest, so you could look that up. All right, so AJ is asking, has anyone ever taken a scan, created a model, downloaded the matter pack, and taken the model into a game engine for virtual reality? I think somebody did that, haven't they? They've taken a scan they did with Matterport and made a game out of it.
I think didn't Mark Shepard work with someone on that? There was like a bar, and they even had simulated people in the virtual reality bar.
I don't know. Mark, speak up. We want to hear from you. All right. So it's 9 o'clock because Adam is sitting here. I'm sorry, 9:30. We've run out of time for this session. Again, we will be back same time, same place next week. Everybody should tune in. It will be a fun session. Again, thank you, Isabel, for all of your time and your input, and especially your help during the excuse me, during the week, and all the stuff you do for everybody on MOUG. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a joy as always. Isabel and I love doing this. So thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.